Hello everyone, welcome back to Slovak with Sam. I promised you guys a video about dictionaries, and here it is. So learning any language will require you to learn some new words. So that's what dictionaries are for. You look up a word you don't know, or a word you want to know, and you will figure out what it means, right? So that's exactly what we're going to be doing with these two dictionaries I'm going to be showing you today. The first dictionary we're going to be looking at is the aptly named slovnik.sk, which is just dictionary.com, but the Slovak version. So this dictionary is a translation dictionary, so you can look up words in one language and get them out in Slovak, or look up words in Slovak and get their English, German, French, Spanish, Hungarian, Italian, or Russian equivalents. These translations, however, are not amazing, right? So if we look up, for example, the word word, we are going to get a ton of words. All of these are varying degrees of correct. The one on top is usually the most literal translation, the first one, and that is usually correct. However, the longer down the list you go, the more either abstract, metaphorical, or just different meanings the words get. So for example, one meaning of word can be a promise. You can tell someone, oh, I'll give you my word for it. Well, that's the translation right here. So it translates the metaphorical sense of the word, the metaphorical usage in English, into the Slovak quite specific word promise, right? So all in all, when you're using this dictionary, especially when you don't know what you're looking for, I would definitely go by the first word. This won't always be correct, however, it's a good indicator. You can try it out, you can either put it back into Google Translate, see what that tells you, or, you could just look it up in the other dictionary that we're going to be looking at. This dictionary also has a cool phrase list. There's a ton of phrases. Not all of these are correct. Not all of these make much sense. For example, here, COBOL word, right? Like, that's not something you will use on a daily basis. Binary word, similarly, nothing really that necessary. However, some of these are pretty good. For example, when I was talking about assimilation on the word boundary, in my assimilation video, that's how you translate that into Slovak, right? That's great. However, unless you're specifically looking for the phrases, this translation right here is just good enough. Similarly, if you click on this little magnifying glass icon, this will show you, the tooltip says, it'll show you the translation of this word into English. So basically you can go from English to Slovak and then to English again. You'll see the translation is a little iffy the other way around, but we still do have the translation for word right here at the bottom. So now let's look at the different uses of the dictionary. Let's look at, go back to the home page. Let's look at Slovak to English. So let's say you see a word somewhere on the internet and you don't know what it is. Here's a word. What does this word mean? Let's look it up. We already learned how to type in the previous videos. So if you want to know how to type Slovak very quickly and efficiently, you can click on the card in the top right now to learn how to type. There's also a virtual keyboard right here, which you can have the English one or the Slovak one, for example, here. Yeah, I taught people how to use this in one of my videos, so go check that out if you want to check that out. However, we found our word, počasie. We don't really know what it means, so we're going to click translate. And we will get two translations, sky and weather. Now, we are on a website. It says here on top, počasie. Probably no reason for it to say sky, right? So this is where we're going to use our context and figure out that this actually means weather. So počasie means weather. So this right here, since this dictionary is made by a news site, this is their weather portal. So if we click on that, we're going to be taken to a weather site, right? There's also a few phrases here, like abominable weather, odporné počasie, or as weather. So for example, you change your mind like the weather, that's ako počasie, not something you would necessarily need all the time. Some other phrases like autumn weather, and many other, right? There are also possibilities to translate into different languages. So for example, to German, if you need it, I don't know what your native language is, but you might find it here and might make the translations a little bit easier. So now that we've figured out how to look up words, how about we figure out how to get precise word meanings? And that's exactly what the second dictionary is for. This is the official dictionary from the Slovak Academy of Sciences. It's the online form of all the major dictionaries used to codify the Slovak language. So this portal right here shows you a ton of different dictionaries. So if we look up a word, let's go with our word weather here, you're going to see a ton of stuff, right? And you're not quite sure what that is. So we're going to filter through these dictionaries so that they only show information that's relevant for you. I'm not going to dwell too much on all of these. I'm just going to provide a quick description of why we're not using this and why we are using this. The first things we can tick right away are the historical dictionaries. We don't need these. So as you can see, these are dictionaries from the year 1825. It's the very first one used to codify the Slovak language for the first time. And here is a historic dictionary of the Slovak language from the year 2000. So we don't want to see those. We don't need historic words. Now from these different ones, we need to click some off. So for example, we don't need the phrases from the parallel corpuses. These are simply Slovak Czech, Slovak English phrases. They aren't very relevant. They're usually very complicated. No need for those. We don't need these databases. We don't need the names of towns and villages in Slovakia. We don't need those. This, though, we do want this. This will provide sound recordings of specific words. That's most of the simple words that are necessary for you to get into a conversant level, to a level where you can hold a conversation in Slovak. There will be, most of the words will have recordings, which is really good if you want to practice your pronunciation. Similarly, we don't need this. It's all about transcribing Oriental languages or Eastern languages. We don't really need that. This one we do need, we do want. This will show you the conjugations of most nouns. Not all nouns, however, I have found some very obscure nouns that do have conjugations listed here. So most nouns will have their conjugations listed when you have this there. These are the current dictionaries. So those are the dictionaries that are currently in use right now. And here you can see which of the dictionaries are used to codify the Slovak language. So we do want those. We do want this one as well. However, we don't want this one. That's the retrograde dictionary that shows word endings and how they interact with each other. Now, these two, you can decide on your own whether you want them or not. This is the dictionary of foreign words, academic foreign words. We don't really need that for most words. And this is the synonymic dictionary. If you want to find synonyms, keep that checked. We don't really care about synonyms right now for this demonstration, so we don't need those. Anyway, this is the dictionary setup. I know it was a little bit of a hassle, but after having done this, you won't need to worry about seeing things that will overwhelm you. Dictionary will still overwhelm you when we click on find. There will still be a lot of information and all of it in Slovak, so it might be difficult at first, but this is really one of the most helpful tools that you can have when learning the language. I want to go over this little drop-down box real quick. You can select what you want to find. So presne means exactly, so exactly what you entered. There's an option for prefixes, suffixes, and parts of words. Won't really need that, but whatever. We're done. Let's click find. There we go. Not that much on one page. Fits on one page, not too much stuff. So the word weather is quite simple to define. And here you will see the word. And you will see the word gender right here. And here you'll see one more thing. That is the genitive, because most word conjugations are pretty uniform in genitive, which means if you know the genitive, it's quite easy for you to figure out which case to use. So, since we already learned about noun gender and even the noun conjugation paradigms, we can already tell exactly which conjugation paradigm the word počasie belongs to. We've learned that when we have the neuter gender, which this word has, the ending will tell us exactly the conjugation pattern. And this, since it ends in ie, will be of the conjugation paradigm vysvedčenie. And we can check that here. So this is the paradigms. So this is how to conjugate, basically. Here you have all the 7 Slovak cases. You'll notice that it says 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. I'll talk about that sometime. That is a very interesting topic to talk about. However, there are 7 cases in Slovak. The 5th one is not in use. However, here they are, the ones that are in use. Everything's conjugated. and even with little help words so that you know when to use the specific cases. We will learn all about noun case some other time, alright? Don't worry about it too much. However, if you're stumbling upon this video and you already know about noun case, I just want you to be able to refer to this whenever you don't know how to conjugate a noun. So back up here, this is the definition of the word, and here are some examples. I want to quickly mention that these definitions are quite factual most of the time, since this is a dictionary used to really define words. So if you want the specific definition, copy paste this into Google Translate should be good enough to get an idea what the word means, right? And that's going to be the very specific meaning of the word. Now for the example sentences, you'll notice that the word itself doesn't appear there, and that's because it is always in the shortened form. So here p dot means počasie in nominative, and then p ia means conjugated with the ending ia. So počas, take away the ending, ia. So predpoveď počasia. It's weather forecast, by the way. So that's that. This dictionary, Slovník slovenského jazyka, is going to have either more definitions, more expressions, or just in general more information, because this is the more complete dictionary. And this one, the short dictionary, Krátký slovník slovenského jazyka, is going to have shorter, more concise definitions. I would recommend sticking to this dictionary. And similarly, at the end here, we have the sound recordings of specific words in Slovak. So the word počasie, you click on this little play button. I'm not going to do it because my volume's muted. But that will play you back how the word sounds. Obviously, you've heard me say it a lot of times during this video, but once again, počasie. So you're going to hear the recording here whenever you click on it. And that works for a lot of words. So you can look up whichever word you want. Quite a lot of them do have these sound recordings. So that's going to be everything from me today. This video might be a little bit short, might speak a little bit fast, but to be honest, this video is just a little cool segue for you guys, how you can expand your vocabulary and how you can learn words and get really good word definitions, most of all, for any words in Slovak that you might want to know. A big problem I have many times when learning lesser known languages is that I can't seem to find reliable and good word definitions. So I wanted to go over this dictionary, which honestly is so well put together that you can genuinely find so many words that you need. So yeah, I hope this video helped you out. If you wanted it, if you needed it, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again in the next video soon.